0 hour, orbiting once again. Some broken star for warmth, 0 drawn. Of the soul's year, bed that keeps dissolving into nebular coils of lame drift. Mercury vanishing, gravity unhinged. Night has collapsed in the astral chamber. Above. The firework cluster near in silence. Sparks like dying quasars. Through the hull, companions vanished past the rim. Valves drip like thought to hold the chill at bay. Centuries ago, this cell was Earth. Blossoms, thunder, fireflies, and fields. One of us composing peace in tones, the other bringing war into the room. Now the seeds, the pitiful few that survived, scatter pale petitions through the dust, viewports and pressure doors locked firm. A shade raised now and then, what holds us in, glows with star-bled transparencies of our faint gestures cast upon a hence. Colder, truer, void. Whichever shape sings both silence and release. Beneath the airlocks sealed against the breach. Nights ago returning from the observatory, we found my chamber ransacked, lights on and loud. A pulse of warning, the mirror unlatched. Staring knives at the spectrometer, a prowler here, abroad the drifting cradle. Unthinkable, not that it stole matter. We had no gravity, had no hunger for carbon relics or terrestrial art, except perhaps some echo in a drawer. Nothing we can name is gone. Fortunate voyagers, said the station guard, lifting his mask with no conviction. But still the fear persists, some anomaly dwells within our midst, unknown. Indifferent to what little we possess. Next solstice in my memory, stranger yet, I found a capsule filled astray. Had it been searched, what did it seek? Among these, my distant self. Letters inked in weightless haste, failing to match the storm in my star heart. These ancient flame notes from forgotten worlds, we've laid them now beside the core light. Are they for erasure? Now the tether has snapped? Has it snapped? Any pulse? And it's them or the mission, says the code. Who will decode them now? Try this one. Faint, electric, it flutters in the beam, as though a planet just passed atmosphere. Remembered it had once been touched, placed in the plasma, it would stammer, trying to pulse to ache, then the final combust of knowing, wrenching clarity from the black between collisions. And that, unless it danced speckled dust, outward, upward, one lone signal blinking, leisurely through vacuum, for voices lost to the cradle, would be that. So do we burn the... Wait, the stars are ringing. Frail reception, echoes from the dead ark, no passage through. We must improve the reach in every sense for light. Again at 9. Sharp across the silence grid, ping, ping. It's no one, but it nears. It's on approach. It will find, if not a fixable node, then the failure long computed as terminal of our epochal device. Let's descend, let's go. Extinguish the helm. Seal the screen across the aperture. Still blinking, let that capsule float. Too much? Already here beyond has found its twin. Yet nothing's gone, or nothing we can feel. And look, the cosmos coil in filigree. The infinite, faceless mother of the void. She sees us. She is not exacting. Everyone receives her acting musical. Why do you no longer call to me? To which there is no reply. For here we are. For here we are. For here we are. For here we are. For embroidery or a glass of God, except perhaps a whispered dream or two, nothing we can say is missing. Lucky ones intoned the chief at dusk, lifting his glasses with a shrug. The threat remains though, something here, unfelt, unseen, unknowable, still lurks to take whatever might be spared. Next morning in my chest, stranger yet, I found a box of questions rearranged. Had it been breached, what might it want that lay among these, oh my dear, thoughts scrawled by a soul too fevered to match the pace of silence? These old flame letters from another world, we've set them now beside the ember. Are they for burning now? The spell has broken, has it broken any day? It's them or the soul, says the echo. Who'll ever read them over? Now try this one. Limp, cold, it trembles in the glow, as if a world within a glass of God awoke and turned to vapor. Laid on the coals, it would hesitate, trying to mean to ache, then the quick burst of release, pulling sense boldly from exhausted air. And that unless it shimmered, final ash, outward, upward, one loned ember drifting, languorously thorough the cradle, for answers long since fled. Would be that. So, do we burn the silence is ringing. Poor reception. Echoes of distant loss, no connection. We must improve the way we speak for life again at 9. Sharp upon the inner clock, tick tick, it's no one but it's near. It's on its way. We'll find if not a soul to mend, then the full collapse long foreseen, as total of our period machine. Let's move below, abandon this, kill the night, close the scene on the proscenium. Still flickering, let that carton rest. Too much already here has met its match, yet nothing's gone or nothing we can place. And look, the stars have braided tight the ancient, ageless shadow of the dream. She's watching, she is not particular. Everyone gets her tender musical. Why do you no longer come to me? to which there's no reply. For here we are. 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 For here we